My thing with this is that if you were watching Pat McAfee and you were watching him talk about GameStop and the stock market and you were thinking, aha, that's why I never invested. That's why I don't get involved. He's right. He helped, confirm what I was feeling. If that's what you were thinking, I just wanted to help tell you that that might not be the best approach. Hey everyone, Paul here, and what does a football have to do with investing? Now, most days, nothing, okay? But, the worlds of football, the worlds of investing usually don't intersect. But I was watching the Pat McAfee show today, and for those of you who don't know, Pat McAfee is a colorful ex-NFL player. He was a punter. He brought a lot of respect to the punter position. I think he had one of the best tackles a punter has ever had. But beyond that, he's just a really interesting guy to listen to. So he's got his own YouTube channel, a podcast, Pat McAfee. If you haven't heard of him for some reason and you're at my channel and you like football, definitely recommend checking the guy out. But I was listening to him today, and he got in on all of the drama with GameStop and AMC and these short squeezes that are going on. I don't need that anymore. He got in on all this drama, and he weighed in, and, for the most part, it was just entertaining and things of that nature, and I get it. But he said a couple things that if you are new to investing and you don't really know anything about it, he might have skewed your perspective of it or maybe confirmed something you were already thinking. But I happen to love investing, so I wanted to react to a couple of quotes that he had, okay? Now, I'm not trying to take these things out of context because I know for the most part in his video, he talked about the fact that, hey, look, I don't really know this world. He was very open about that. He said, hey, these are just a couple of things that I've, experienced, so to me, I'm not trying to cast him in the wrong light, but there was a couple things, again, that he said that I think just might, kind of come off the wrong way to anybody out there who might be interested in learning more about investing. And look, I'm not the type to cause drama or cause a fight, but if you start telling people that investing is a bad idea and you're going to lose a bunch of money doing it, I'm going to put on the boxing gloves, I'm going to defend my position. Now, that's not a fight I want to have because I'm pretty sure Pat McAfee would be able to kick my ass if we got into it. Well, all right, so I want to play a couple quotes, give my opinion on it, tell you why I think it's dangerous, why I think it's the wrong thing for somebody who might be interested in learning to invest or if that was their only exposure to it. So let's just play the first quote.
I know nothing about that entire thing. I've never got into the game, all right? A lot of people have called me very dumb. I agree, but I would rather see what my money's being spent on, even if it's 100 shots in one night that could have been invested in Apple or whatever. It's like, all right, if that thing was to crash, not that Apple will, obviously, because Apple's Apple, but into something and the person, well, we're going to diversify your portfolio, which means we're going to put in some shit and then we're going to put in some good too to kind of balance it all out. I got to see the shots go. You know what I mean? I got to feel
the happiness.
I got to feel that night and everybody's, yeah, having a good time. Whenever that thing, I get an email and it tells me that thing's at zero, I didn't get to feel it.
No, kidding me?
There was no feeling. I was just like, yeah, take it. Oh, fuck, you lose again. All right, let's go.
Okay, so with that quote, I want to say that I get it. I understand that if you're going to be investing your money, you're going to be putting a lot of money into something, you want to be able to see it and you don't want to just think that, hey, somebody's managing your money for you or your money's someplace and it's, just this mythical thing type of a thing and maybe your money's going to grow, maybe it won't. I get that, okay? But it doesn't have to be that way. You have the ability to invest in stocks where you actually know the products, you know the company. You can literally go to a place where you're investing in something. You can be a customer. You can observe these things. And what are some examples? Well, you can buy stock in Starbucks. Now, again, for what I'm about to rattle off, I'm not endorsing these stocks, but these are just examples. But if you loved going to Starbucks and you said, hey, I want to own this, and every time you go to a Starbucks or you see a Starbucks or you see a commercial, whatever that is, that's being tangible, right? That's your ability to see it and touch it and feel it, right? So it's just not this kind of made up thing that he was kind of describing investing as being. And by the way, if you would have invested in Starbucks 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you would have a lot more money for doing so. And Starbucks also pays a dividend too, right? So as they're accumulating all those dollars from the lattes and the coffees and all of those things, part of that goes to the individuals that actually own the stock. So again, and it's not just limited to Starbucks. If you happen to be somebody who enjoys alcohol, there's companies you can invest in that produce those, from beer, wine, liquor, all of those things are things that you can invest in. You enjoy restaurants, you go to those places. You want to invest in, Olive Garden or Cheesecake Factory, any of these types of things. Again, you can go there. You can be a customer. You can see it. It's real. You can invest in those things. So to me, it's not all about saying, hey, I need to invest in something that I can feel, like the 100 shots that he's referring to. I think it goes deeper than that. And I think that it's just a good reminder that, again, you can be connected to your investments, and you should be. Because kind of what he's talking about in a couple of these examples, and I'll get into this more in the next quote, he's basically talking about if you're investing in something and you don't know where the dollars are going, if you say, hey, I got a money guy and he's handling that for me, now that can be a bad proposition. But I mean, at the same time, if we want to think about that with shots, it could be a bad idea to have a shot guy. If you're not the one ordering those 100 shots and you have a shot guy who's passing them out and he only passes out 70, that's because you weren't having control over that, right? So you have no one to blame but yourself for outsourcing that to somebody else who didn't care about it as much as you did. So if you start caring about your investing in your financial life as much as you care about going to the bar and having 100 shots, if you can make that leap, your life can change. And that's what my channel is all about, is helping you to understand how you can make more money in the market. It's about how you can save more money, lead a better financial life, right? And I understand, so somebody like a Pat McAfee, there gets a certain point where your income's high enough, your wealth is high enough, where it almost doesn't really matter. If you had it just in a bank account doing nothing and you got millions in there, you're fine. But we all don't have that situation. And for some of us, if you're making, a certain amount per year, let's say you're making $30, $40, $50,000 a year, the decision to invest wisely or not could really make or break how your financial life is going to be. Again, not necessarily the case for somebody like Pat McAfee. Now let's play the second quote. See what we think about that.
And then whenever you hear about stories of either friends that I have had or other stories of people that have invested in the stock market, it turns out you weren't investing in anything, actually. It was going right in somebody's pockets. They were just kind of go ahead and moving everything around, living the best life ever. And then some people go in there and like, well, you can't cash out because the taxing, you have to hang on to it for another blah, blah, blah. And also we should make a move.
So in that quote, Pat McAfee says, hey, whenever I hear my friends talk about investing, they're telling me about how they were scammed. Their money goes nowhere. It's in somebody else's pocket. It's being moved around. They're trying to get out of investment, but they can't get out of it because they're telling them, hey, hold on for this reason. But they're doing that just to continue to rob from them. Okay? So just like kind of what we talked about, though, if that's happening to you, it's because you didn't have control over your portfolio. You didn't have control over your investments. And you need to be able to look under the hood to understand what you own and why you own it. And again, by all means, if that means that you're investing in things that you can tangibly see, that you can, you can go use the products, you can go to the place, you can see it, you can go inside Walmart, God forbid if you want to own Walmart, and you can say, I own a piece of this. It might be 0.00000 to infinity, 1%. It might be extremely, extremely small, but if you own a share, you own a part of that. And you own a piece of those profits, right? And again, those profits will get paid out to you in dividends, and not for all stocks. And again, I can talk more about how that all works. But my thing with this is that if you were watching Pat McAfee and you were watching him talk about GameStop and the stock market, and you were thinking, aha, that's why I never invested. That's why I don't get involved. He's right. He helped, confirm what I was feeling. If that's what you were thinking, I just wanted to help tell you that that might not be the best approach. Okay, and so my own background, by the way, a couple of years ago, I was that person going to the bars too much. I was that person, putting my money into liquor, put my money into the next round of shots, and I was living paycheck to paycheck, and it wasn't very much fun. But in the last couple of years, I started turning that around. Quarantine certainly helped, right? Because all of a sudden, you can't go to the bars anymore. But I was already starting to slow down that lifestyle before that happened. And because of that, I now have a portfolio of over $65,000 that I manage. And I understand that for some of you watching this, $65,000, it's a drop in the bucket. It's really not a big deal to you. But when you go from living paycheck to paycheck to being able to say that you have $65,000 and you're watching it grow and grow and grow through a combination of adding to the funds, through a combination of the investment income, it becomes addicting. It becomes something that you want to see continue. And I want that for you. So if you get any value from that and you want to learn more about investing, subscribe to this channel. So thanks for watching, and hello, Pat McAfee.